All right, Larry Krueger outside Levi's Stadium for the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little breakdown of everything that happened down here in Santa Clara on a Thursday. All right, 49ers getting ready to take off at the end of the week to go to Houston to take on the Texans in Week 8. Brock Purdy did practice today. He looked fine. Second straight day he's practiced. I don't know if it's in his best interest to practice, but he's out there practicing. Demo Lenore, also with a quad bruise, he practiced on a side field, so he did not train with everybody today. He practiced on a side field. The day started when John Lynch went on KMBR. He hit a number of topics, including saying that the Giants manager Tony Vitello he's got the it factor. I thought that was kind of interesting that he said this morning. But the big news this morning was just that Lynch said that they don't have to make a trade to get a defensive lineman. He says we have enough internally to get by with what we have. Couple other things today. Curtis Rourke did some side throwing today. He's on the NFI list coming off the torn ACL. As far as guys who are out today, there was no Bryce Huff, no Jake Brendel, no Yatir Gross-Matos, no Demo Lenore, though he practiced on the side field, as I said, and trained. Ricky Pearsall also was on that side field. Luke Gifford was on a side field as well. Couple other notes. Bengals linebacker Logan Wilson, who is listed by ESPN this week as a perfect fit for the 49ers, formally requested a trade today away from the Bengals. I thought that was kind of interesting. No connection, no tie necessarily to the 49ers in the report. But when I saw that name the other day and I thought, Logan Wilson, I haven't seen his name even in any of the rumor mills. Well, today he formally requests a trade from the Bengals. We'll see if the Bengals acquiesce and send him somewhere. Maybe he could be coming here. I saw the composite quarterback rankings, and I thought those were really interesting. If you had Daniel Jones as the best quarterback in football, you have my respect, because he's on top of the composite quarterback rankings after Week 7. Here's the list. Mac Jones checks in at 15 overall. It goes Daniel Jones 1, Sam Darnold 2, Dak Prescott 3, Drake May 4, Jordan Love 5. So that's the top 5. 6 through 10 is Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, so I think everybody would freely admit is the best quarterback of this generation, yet he checks in at 10. Josh Allen at 11. It's amazing how quickly his star dimmed after losing to the Falcons on Monday night. Baker Mayfield at 12. Aaron Rodgers at 13. The one that really gets me, Spencer Rattler checks in at 14 in front of Mac Jones. I find that hard to believe, but there's the list. These are the composite quarterback rankings after Week 7. Couple stats to look for this week. With 35 rushing yards, Christian McCaffrey joins Marshall Faulk and Timmy Brown from the 60s as the only players in NFL history with at least 500 rushing yards, 500 receiving yards in the first 8 games of a season. Also, CMC is 148 rush yards and 18 receiving yards away from becoming the 4th ever with 7,000 rush yards and 5,000 receiving yards, joining Marcus Allen, Marshall Faulk, and Tiki Barber. Read those stats today on X. I think Lombardi might have had those. If it wasn't Dave, it was somebody else, but I think it was Dave. We should say happy birthday to the great Nick Bosa, who was out doing stuff with the kids from Special Olympics the other day. Nick, way to go on that. That's always cool, but happy birthday to Nick. One of the best defensive ends in Niner history, without a doubt, and they want him back as soon as possible, though it won't be anytime in 2025. But happy birthday to Nick Bosa. Tilt one back for us. As far as what can we expect to see in this game coming up on Sunday, C.J. Stroud in 2 starts against Robert Saleh's defense has not fared very well. In 2023, he went 10 of 23 for 91 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. In 2024, against Saleh's defense, now granted these are his Jets defenses, he completed 11 of 30 for 191 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. So, Saleh for the most part has gotten the upper hand on C.J. Stroud. As far as, if you wanted to say, hey, how does Brock Purdy and Mac Jones actually compare statistically this year? One stat that kind of cuts through the number of games is EPA ranking. And of the 34 qualified quarterbacks, you've got Brock Purdy at number 8 overall, and you have Mac Jones at number 18. So at least in EPA rank, Purdy ranks in front of Jones. If you wanted to say, what is the impact of Robert Saleh on the 49ers this year? Look no further than points allowed. The Niners defense last year under Nick Sorensen they were 29th in the NFL in points allowed per game. This year, through week 7 at least, the 49ers are 7th in the NFL in points allowed. This is a defense that's lost Nick Bosa. This is a defense that's lost Fred Warner. This is a defense with all kinds of youth on all 3 levels of the defense, and yet, last year 29th under Sorensen, this year 7th under Robert Saleh. One of the things that Robert Saleh told us today when we talked to him, he was asked about Chase Lucas, what stands out about Chase Lucas, and he's like, man, he's got tremendous football savvy. And that's good to hear, because that is true. Chase Lucas is a very, very savvy football player. We also had a chance to talk to Kubiak, the Niners offensive coordinator, after practice. And, I asked him, what's up with Guerendo? What's up with Watkins? And he's like, are you guys going to get some speed on the field? I think he'd like to get them out there. But, he talked first about Watkins, and he's like, yeah, he's just got to, he's in line. He's got to get the opportunity when he gets his opportunity. But I really think Watkins could stretch the field, and Guerendo could stretch the field. I also think, utilize Guerendo. I mean, he's not much of a running back, but, man, he is a hell of a receiver, and he's so big and fast. And to me, to not utilize these guys, and he's basically made it sound like, hey, their time's coming, but no commitment at all from Kubiak that he's going to get Guerendo out on the field or he's going to get Watkins out on the field. I guess it's just wait in line, young guys, but these are two of their more dynamic weapons with a ton of speed. It would be great to see those guys out there. Another thing, couple thoughts on the matchup. One of the things that we saw last week was the 49ers defense brought a lot of people to the party. There were a lot of hats on the ball. There was a lot of gang tackling. Lynch talked about it this morning. Tim Ryan talked about it in the football hour. I mean, they brought a lot of people to the football, and that's just got to continue. One of the things the Niners have to deal with in this game is that this Houston defense is really good on all 3 levels. You've got Azeez Al-Shaair on that second level, and we know what a violent player he is. And then you've got Stingley and Lassiter on the corners, and their nickel corners, Jalen Petrie. And those might be the 3 best corners on any one team in football right now. Petrie's a really good nickel corner. Stingley's a blue chipper. Lassiter's a great athlete. Those are their 3 corners, so it's going to be a huge challenge for the Niner receivers to get any separation at all. Another thing, it's going to be a huge challenge for the Niners offensive line. Mac Jones is going to have to get the ball out fast with Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter off the edges. And this is a very fast surface as well, so you don't want to give any of these Houston defenders a running start at Mac Jones. Can the Niners develop some kind of a pass rush without Bryce Huff? I think that's the big question going into this game. Niners are 30th in the NFL with 9 sacks in 7 games, and their leader is Bryce Huff, and he's got 4, and he's not going to play. So that's a huge one for the 49ers. Can they mount a rush? This game in 2025 on the defensive side of the ball is a rush and cover game. You need an endless line of pass rushers, and you need a deep crop of corners. And the Niners, unfortunately, have a very thin pass rushing deal with Bosa out and Huff out, and their top 3 corners are banged up. They're going to play, but they're going to play hurt. So this is going to be a very challenging game. I think the game plan for the Niners offensively, run the ball. More Brian Robinson, maybe a little Guerendo, pass protect, play action pass. Houston gets aggressive attacking the line of scrimmage. Take advantage of that aggressiveness and throw the ball over the top of their head. I'm hoping Hennessy steps in and has a real nice game for Brendel. And then I would say on the defensive side of the ball, the key is really just be super physical with the Texans. If you look at the Texans' weapons, they're all finesse-based weapons. And this is an opportunity, I think, for the 49er defense to be very physical. Jalen Knoll, Jaden Higgins, Dalton Schultz, both of their running backs, Woody Marks. There's a lot of youth, and I think if the Niners are super physical with their weapons, they can win this game. Houston's offense is struggling. Don't let them get any rhythm early in that game. Maybe send some extra, pressure on C.J. Stroud early to try to make sure he doesn't get into any kind of a rhythm. He's not in rhythm right now. So, they faced Baker Mayfield a couple weeks ago. He was in full rhythm. C.J. Stroud's not in a good rhythm. Don't let him get in one would be the key. We should tell everybody thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out. So get there early, get some brisket chili. Talk to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Krug sent you. And we should also tell you 49er football all season long is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chats, season-long leagues, and of course Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry, L-A-R-R-Y, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, that does it for our 49er update on a Thursday. Join me for Niners Nightly on KMBR at 6 o'clock. The great Chase Sr. is going to be in the house. The star of Chat Sports will be stopping by to chop it up on a Thursday night. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show. Hit like and subscribe on your way out the door. And thanks for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.